Hi, I'm Leticia Huber for Port Townsend Peeps, and today I am going to have the pleasure and the honor to share this beautiful, talented work. This is all about the talents, and especially Port Townsend talents. This frame is very masterfully done, as you can tell by the details, and we'll have lots more information and definition about it for those of you who are pursuing the wood arts careers and for those of you who enjoy them. And that photograph is Gustavo Huber's, my son's photograph as well. So allow me to do two things here. I'm going to take along the art, and I'm going to invite you to come with me and meet the master who creates all this wooden beauty. His name is Bob Chandler. Hi, Bob.
Hello, Leticia. How are you?
Very well. Very happy to be able to ask you a few questions that will give us more information. Let me straighten the camera here, there, on the beautiful work you do. And I decided to bring about the frame as well, so that you can tell us what you wish about how you work and what would you like to share with other people. I'm going to place the frame here so you have it handy whenever you wish to illustrate something. And I passed you on the list of 11 questions that I prepared for you. And the first one, if I remember correctly, is if you would like to tell us a little bit of who you are, meaning, are you a dreamer? Are you an observer? Are you, if you go back to your childhood, what comes to your mind?
Well, I think if the right word would be maybe futuristic. I've always thought of the future more than even the present. A lot of people don't believe that or believe in that, but I think that that's the way I process things. I will always look toward what's next, what ideas I get, that type of thing. So I guess one word to describe my personality would be that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
May I borrow your
Sure.
your sheet here? The second question is, where do you come from business-wise?
Business-wise, I was in the art business through high school and college as an art framer and designer for various art galleries. Helped run some galleries, worked at many of them for about 7 years. I also, when I was 13, my father bought a second home for the family as an investment, and the whole family pretty much got into restoring old homes, which we did pretty much through the first part of my life with my dad and my family. And then I needed to go kind of make some money and you know, live a good life, so I went into retail sales and went into the car business for about 21 years. And just recently retired from that and decided to move over to Port Townsend to start my second half of my life.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
You said what kind of business were you in?
I was in car sales.
Car sales.
Sold Toyotas for quite a long time.
Okay. Very good. And then what's important for you?
Well, there's a lot of different avenues of what's important. If you're talking about my artwork...
Could you show it to us again, please?
Yeah. If you're talking about my artwork, I would say the integrity of the work is probably the most important thing. Trying to build something that lasts longer than a lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Something that people can appreciate. And virtually something that wants to be touched is very important to me.
Yeah. You sure, in my opinion, achieve it. The smoothness of the wood there is very inviting. And then when you bring your touch to it, it increases, your interest increases, the satisfaction is completely fulfilled, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing what is important for you, you already answered what brought you to Port Townsend, and may I ask you, if you were to determine what is your gift, what would you say? I know.
Yeah,
you already said futuristic.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
quite
if
a
working
gift.
is a gift. I mean, it's something that I find inspiring. I strive to be better at it every time I start a new project. I would say that I have a gift of imagination, probably more than anything, just because I have always been able to, use that imagination, whether I'm using it in woodwork or in a selling career or any type of artwork that I've done in the past. So I would think that having a very strong, controlled imagination is probably a very good gift that I've been given.
And because of that gift of imagination, do you think that what comes to mind for me right now are the wishes and the hopes that we have often, the dreams that we have, and then we hinder them. We say, well, but if I want to be a masterful woodworker, maybe I would need this space and this blah and this blue and this whatever that I don't have and I will never have, so let me forget about that dream. And your creativity, your imagination, your ability to create tells us what?
Well, I guess when you have, a lot of artists live in this area, a lot of artists live everywhere, but a lot in this area. I think when you have this inner feeling that you have to create, that you have to release your imagination or your creativity, I don't think it matters where you do it. For instance, in woodworking, it's something I started at a very young age. I've never been taught by anybody. It's all self-training. But I've worked in various shops that have been the size of a closet. And
really?
Yeah, literally. I had a rental home over in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where one of my first shops was actually the basement with old brick that was torn out of the wall. And it was probably literally, I don't know, maybe an 8x8 room. Wow. So I just adapted. I was able to build various things in there and kind of hone my skills and work on my joinery. And then over time, as life started becoming a little easier, I was able to develop into having one of the best shops that anybody I knew thought it was one of the best shops that was out there. It had all the tools, vacuum systems, it was good size, heated floors, it was very, very nicely set up. But, now I'm in a very, very small shop again, just because I've sold all that and moved away from it. And I don't think that any of that is important. I think if you have an imagination and a creativity that you want to release, I think you can do it at a desk. I think you can do it in various types of mediums. And I think that you just learn to adapt to your creativity and use your imagination to do the best you can.
Great. I'm looking at your hands a lot because they are meaningful and skilled. And then hearing your words and looking at your words, and may we see your work again in this particular frame. How would you put those pieces together? Are you using, say, Japanese technique, or what brought you to put those pieces together as I see them, wood with wood?
Really, again, adaptability. All my designs are original. I don't know if a Japanese style would be right. I don't know if a traditional style. I think that I've taken a lot of different artist ideas and have been inspired by them. Sam Maloof is one of my biggest inspirations, who's no longer with us, a California woodworker who passed late into his 90s. I've studied a lot of different techniques, and I've kind of adapted my own thing. When I look at something like this is done very simple but very effective, and I kind of try to build, when I'm doing something like on photographs or something, I try to build around the photograph. It takes me a few days to get the idea in my head, and then I kind of build the project a few times before I even touch wood. And then by the time I'm ready to start cutting and adapting my techniques to it, then I've kind of worked out a lot of the bugs that I could come into, and the design seems to flow with what the photo or the artwork that it goes around. So very nice.
Great. And then if you wanted to have people remember one thing about your work, what would it be?
It's pleasing, touchable.
And if you wanted people to remember one thing about you, what would it be?
I think if you knew me, there would be a lot of things you'd remember about me. I don't know, just trying to follow a dream, trying to do something that I've worked hard almost all my life, or pretty much all my life, to get to this point, to try to have a relaxing life. And I think that if you just keep your mind, on focused and goal-oriented, I think you can achieve anything that you really believe in.
And if you were to give one tip to your fellow wood artists, what would it be?
Well, there's a lot of woodworkers out there that are much more skilled than I, and there's a lot of woodworkers that aren't quite as skilled, whether it's not being trained or not having the time or not putting in the time. And I think that if you have a passion within you, and if you truly have a passion to create something, whether if it's woodwork or fabrics or painting or any other type of medium out there, just follow your heart. That's the main thing. Follow with what's inside you, and just do the best you can, and understand that every time you start a project, that it can be developed better than the one before.
Does it mean that whenever you create a piece, you feel very happy inside?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes pieces don't always go the way you want them to. And you can feel like you've wasted a week of your time because it didn't work out. But I think once you complete a piece that you're satisfied with, I think there's nothing like it. That stems back when I was much younger with my family, rebuilding these old homes, where these were such huge, long projects that it took us sometimes a couple of years to see a final result. But then once you got to that final result and you were able to step back and really appreciate everything that was done, I think that's the most important thing, is being able to reflect the final result more than the process itself.
Thank you. And what, now that you mentioned this, do you easily see happening in Port Townsend in regards of woodworking?
Well, to my surprise, before I moved here, I knew that there were some good woodworkers in this town, but after being here for as long as I have, there's literally some of the best woodworkers in the world here. And I've been invited out to the woodworking school a few times. Really like those guys. They're very hospitable, very intelligent, and what they're doing, trying to teach woodworkers new skills and the traditional usage of hand tools and planes, that's so important in this field. So I think with the foundation that's already been placed into Port Townsend with the woodworkings, I just see it getting bigger and bigger. It's definitely getting recognized, and you're starting to see it in a lot of the projects that are being displayed in downtown Port Townsend in the galleries.
Great. And who shows or sells your work in town, Robert?
It's April Fool's and Penny 2 Gallery down on Water Street. That's the only place I have my stuff at this point. It's the first and only time I've actually shown my stuff publicly, besides the last Winter Wood show through the Splinter Group, which I plan on doing again hopefully this year. And I have a few other ideas that I would like to try to expand, but I haven't pursued those yet. But they are in the near future, so hopefully I will have some more resources in my caliber of
Great.
people.
And I asked you who sold or showed or sold your work, but I knew that it is in the beautiful gallery April's Fool that Penny owns. And I am happy to report to you that the last time I was there was this woman so excited. She said, "Oh, there are more of these here." And then we look around, we turn to what she's looking, and those are your frames. She had found the first frame, and now she had found the several frames together, and she was very, very happy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
You know? Some people will like it and some people won't. Some people won't understand it, but the ones that connect with it, those are the ones you're after. So
that's right.
It works out well.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Leticia.
And thank you for inspiring us with the many possibilities that we find in Port Townsend, with the many talents, special, wonderful, world class talents that we find in Port Townsend. And this is Leticia Huber for Port Townsend Peeps, interviewing Bob Chandler. Bye.
Nice.